Hello everyone, it's Friday and I'm nighstar. This week's topic on Askapansexual is gender blindness. And actually I'm the one that picked this topic because on Tumblr I see a lot of people describing themselves and their sexuality as being gender blind. And I have many real problems with this word. And so I was interested in seeing what everyone else on the channel thought about this word. Is it just me who doesn't like it? Because I see so many people using it. But anyways, it was really interesting hearing everyone else's opinion on it, and my opinion may just echo some of what's already been said on the channel. Oh, and I want to note that in this video, every time I say pansexual, I also mean panromantic. I myself am not even pansexual, I'm panromantic, and everything that applies to pansexuals does apply to panromantics too. Anyway, I'm going to try and keep this video short and to the point. I have a tendency to rant about things that I kind of feel strongly about. So I have several problems with the term gender blind. Number one, no one is actually gender blind. Pansexuals can see, recognize, acknowledge, notice gender just as much as everyone else. I think it is totally impossible to literally be blind to or oblivious of gender. I mean, people may recognize it on varying levels, but you still know that it's there. So I think the term gender blind is completely the wrong term to use. There needs to be a better word for what people are trying to describe when they say gender blind. Number two, many people, not everyone obviously, but many people seem to use the term gender blind to mean that they fall in love, they love the person, the soul, they see past gender. Well, just so you know, everyone does that. That's not unique to pansexuality. And when I say that, I mean a heterosexual doesn't know what's in somebody's pants before they fall in love with them. They may not necessarily know that person's gender identity. They can see their expression, but they don't know that person's gender identity. A heterosexual, a homosexual, everybody will fall in love with the person, with the soul, with the common interests that they share with that person. They don't have goggles that prevent them from seeing past the person's gender. So when pansexuals describe themselves as gender blind, to me it seems to imply that no one else sees past gender when they do. Gender isn't the only thing that anyone sees. I know that they're trying to say that gender is irrelevant to them. That's what they really mean when they say gender blind, that gender, sex, is irrelevant. So if that's what you really mean, if that's what pansexuals in general really mean, why don't we just say that? Why are we using the term gender blind? It's completely wrong. Number three, I've seen many pansexuals, especially on Tumblr, further elaborate on their gender blindness by saying something like, I love men, I love women, I love trans, and I love intersex. And when they say this, that isn't unique to pansexuality either, okay? For example, a heterosexual male can fall in love with a woman who just so happens to be trans or just so happens to be intersex. Someone who is trans or intersex by default does not identify as a trans woman or a trans man or an intersexual woman or intersexual man. They often see themselves as a man, period, a woman, period. They may not label themselves as trans all the time, and it seems like, I don't know, some people try to ignore that a trans or an intersex person may be just as binary as a cisgendered person. They try to put all trans and all intersex into this separate category when that's not the case. So yeah, please don't say that you are gender blind because you have the potential to fall in love with a trans or an intersex person, because not just pansexuals are capable of doing that. And lastly, number 4. Many people don't think about this, but in saying that you are gender blind, you can be unintentionally undermining somebody's gender identity. To you, as a pansexual, gender may be irrelevant, it may not matter, but some people actually have to fight for the mere privilege of having their gender recognized. And so, for example, if you're a pansexual with a genderqueer partner, for that pansexual to say that they completely see through their partner's gender, that their partner's gender is completely irrelevant, to that genderqueer person, that may be offensive, because to that genderqueer person, their identity may be very important. It may be obviously not the only thing that makes them who they are, but it may still be an important part of who they are. And for their partner, their pansexual partner, to say that, oh, that doesn't matter, oh, I don't even care that you're genderqueer, that's like saying that you don't care what that person is going through regarding their gender, or just don't see it or acknowledge it, or I wish more people would think about this. I mean, it's one thing for gender not to be important to you. It's one thing to love someone regardless of their gender, but it's another thing entirely to suggest that you completely do not care, or that you completely do not see it at all, that you're completely blind to it. So yeah. But anyway, yeah, the whole term gender blind, I hate it. I see it as hugely problematic, and it really pains me to see just how prevalent this term is used online, everywhere, to define pansexuality, because, as I said, it can be offensive, and it's not even true, and it suggests that certain things are unique to pansexuals, which aren't. But yeah, that's my opinion on it. I hope this video wasn't too long. I think it is pretty long. I really hope that in the future, pansexuals, the pansexual community, and panromantics can find better words, better ways of defining their sexuality, of describing themselves and how they experience attraction. Because I really just think that gender blind is not the way to do it. But anyways, that's all for this week. Oh, I wanted to comment quickly on the DOMA ruling. Awesome! Oh my god, I'm so happy that America is finally taking a step in the right direction towards equality. But I did want to throw out there that I hope that someone really soon, really soon, challenges Section 2 of DOMA. If you don't know, the entirety of DOMA was not ruled unconstitutional. Section 3 was. Section 2 still stands intact. And Section 2 says that states can still not recognize same-sex marriages. So, yay for Section 3 being unconstitutional, but as long as Section 2 is still there, millions of Americans are still they still don't have equal rights. They're still suffering because in their state refuses to acknowledge their marriage, or refuses to let them marry at all. So yeah, just wanted to throw that out there. See you next week.